Bengaluru never ceases to surprise you, and unboxing that surprise of Bengaluru is part of the initiative started by Prashanth Prakash over the last 1 year. It's part of several exercises, and one event today is about launching of a book, Unboxing Bengaluru, by Malini, Goyal and Prashanth together. Prashanth, just take us through first the idea of Unboxing Bengaluru before we come and talk about the book itself.
Yeah, so I think every city requires a platform where the citizens who usually work in silos can come together, collaborate better with a common purpose. Everybody wants their city to improve, everybody wants the city to become more vibrant, but there is somehow no cohesiveness. Something doesn't bring them together. And the idea of unboxing was that can Bangalore pilot such a platform, and hopefully this becomes a template for other cities where we want our cities to become greener, cleaner, more vibrant, culturally more active, and be more livelier and enrich our lives, right?
Okay.
So hopefully unboxing as that Uber goal, and we can get people together to participate and collaborate on this platform.
And the book itself is part of this initiative.
Yeah, so we think that there are multiple things that can be and need to be done to bring this. One, you need to educate people on what's there in the city, right? So we'll have more of a discovery element to this platform. All the good things that the citizens have done somehow are in some sense not discovered easily for people who are in Bangalore and also new people who come into Bangalore, right? So that's one. Then the book and the festival. So we want to make an iconic festival from the global south, and I don't think any city has one. So people should think of December as the time to go to India and visit Bangalore for this festival. So that's the idea of this festival.
The only thing that we can think of is the Carnatic Music Festival in Chennai.
and which is great, which happens around the same time, and maybe they should visit both, right? So southern India can we are hopefully enriching what's already
Global
there.
South to India South.
Global South to India South, yes.
So, but Malini Goyal is the journalist who's written this book. Malini, you're the quintessential non-Bangalorean who moves here over the last 3 years, and you work on this book. Let me ask you this before I ask about the book itself. Your view of Bangalore, what was it before you came here, and what was it after you wrote the book?
So from the outside, Bangalore was this tech city. That's it. I had a very unidimensional view of the city. And as a journalist, the only time you remembered Bangalore was when you thought of tech, right? And that's when it also made headlines. But coming to the city, there were just so many facets, and also partly researching on the book, the importance of IISc. I didn't fully sort of appreciate the significance of it. It showed up on the top universities on global radar, right? But even as a journalist, I didn't fully understand its significance until I began to uncover what IISc means to India. Similarly for HAL, similarly for ISRO, right? I mean, ISRO, of course, we understood. So what I would say is that there were many more facets to Bangalore, which I wasn't privy to. I was a journalist sitting in Delhi looking at India, and Bangalore looked like the tech capital. That's it. I think my view right now is more rounded, more layered, and more complex, because the city is a complex sort of entity, right? And I think my learning has been that that unidimensional view was a very siloed view of Bangalore.
And the book basically captures several success stories, startups, all that happens in the city, if I'm right. And also, what was possibly the most fascinating aspect as you started unboxing Bangalore?
So one, that book is not just a tech startup lens. How I would describe it is it's a contemporary biography of Bangalore. And it sort of looks at the city at a very 360-degree level, right? So tech is just one part of it. There's a tech Bangalore, there's a non-tech Bangalore, there's a young Bangalore, there's an old Bangalore. There is a science Bangalore, there is other part of Bangalore. And I think the book takes a view of the life in the city, and it includes work, after work, the cultural aspect of the city. This is a very young city, and what do these young people do to the city, and what does the city do to young people? So all those layers are part of the book.
Right, that's interesting, and thanks for putting it that way, because a lot of people often define Bangalore for tech and not see the beauty, the intellectual part of it, the cultural part of it, the human part of this city.
So also there is this the economic engine part of the city, right? So which is goes beyond the startups and these Flipkarts of what make this. And where does this economic engine come from? It comes from the millennials and the Gen Zs, who are a literal sandbox for future India.
Absolutely.
So any product, if it's an FMCG product, any product today gets its launch here because this is a microcosm of future India. And by this lens, they're able to better define the product, better create the product. So this whole idea that Bangalore is not only a tech sandbox, but virtually a kind of an innovation and a future India sandbox, I think is the other thing that comes through.
So the one line is the city of new beginnings. You all seem to have figured that out after a lot of going around.
Yes, I mean, so I think that came from this research which Malini started digging, and when you you enumerated the number of things where post independence the city has made a material difference to modern India.
Correct.
Multiple ways, not only the PSUs, the science labs of the city, the IT revolution, the biotech revolution, the startup revolution, and then more recently the digital rails of this country, right? So, I mean, it is a very audacious view I have. I think most of modern India has been built from the city.
Most of modern India has been built from the city, Malini.
So I'm going to add to what Prashanth said. What struck me is this city has so dramatically reinvented itself. I mean, if you look at till the 80s, this was a PSU city, right? This was a retirement city. This was a pensioners' paradise. The imagery that you had was very different. And today, when you look at it, this is a young city. This is a startup city. This is a tech city. Completely world-class, global. And world class, I don't mean, I know there are issues. Every city has challenges, right? But this city has totally reinvented itself in the last 40 years. Right. And remember, this tech journey also began with IT outsourcing, which was more about labor cost arbitrage. I don't think we are today talking about that. We have moved ahead. We are talking about deep tech in many areas. We are talking about startups here. We are talking about even IT outsourcing, moving to another sort of era of AI and figuring out what the next step would look like. So to me, what struck me is that how this city has constantly reinvented itself. Right. Yeah.
It's a city.
Maybe I'll just add one thing. I was also looking for this common thread, while this new beginnings is one. The other common thread for me was the city somehow has created this capability to give freedom for people to dream and dream big. And so that is the root of this ability to reinvent. So when people think of what next, they're able to think what next in a very big fashion. If Bhavesh here post from an aggregator, being a cab aggregator, is thinking what next, he's thinking of the next big giga EV factory, right? So in multiple ways, this ability to dream and be what you want to be, I think is central to being able to reinvent.
Well, it's a fascinating city like any other city, but we in Bangalore would like to think it's more fascinating than any other city in the world, not just in this country. So we'll keep unboxing Bengaluru, we'll keep focusing on events around it as well. But for the moment, that's all we have time for.